it's very painful when you study and you still can't remember. Have you ever been in an examination room where, you are just trying so hard to remember all that you learned after burning the midnight candle, and you still just cannot remember? Then you start praying in tongues, hoping that you remember, but it's still not coming. Now, today I actually chanced on a certain, meme on Facebook, and it was like, how can my brain remember that I don't remember something? And my brain will be telling me, let me remember it, but I still don't remember it. Well, this is the conversation we are having. You're still watching Prime Morning. My name is Roslyn Felly, and our guest is seated, Godwin Eduafo. He's here for us to have the conversation on how to train and improve the memory of, it was supposed to be your child, but we discussed and we said, no, we are not going to do it your child again. Let's do it for everybody, because you know what? Even in our old age, it's worse. It's worse. I mean, when Brenda decides to come to work and forgets all the things that she has to bring, and I tell her, Brenda, we are twins. We are in this together. Good morning, Godwin.
Good morning,
How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
Fine, thank you.
Great.
I never knew we have to train our brains.
Yes.
I thought when you're growing, it just vanishes, or when you're young, you just don't remember.
That's good. That's a good question. It's not just you. That's what everybody has been thinking. Many people, basically. And even scientists, they got it wrong some time back. They thought when you get to 25, your brain doesn't improve again, and they had to do more. And now they are saying your brain can always improve.
Oh, wow.
Which is consistent with the Bible phrase, everybody who received perfect training will be like the teacher. So we suggest anytime, so I have a demonstration to show you how your brain works. Usually I love to objectify the brain because it sits in your cranium, you can't see it. So when we talk about the brain, it works like this, you might not see. So I want to bring the brain out.
Okay, so today we are cutting our brains,
so
putting it on the table.
Bringing the brain out today. So you see how your brain works.
Okay, Godwin.
In there. So see this as your brain.
Now, as you are talking, we want to get interactive as possible. So if you have any questions on what we are discussing, do send your messages to us. We are trying to find ways and means of making sure that our brain never loses memory. Okay, and it's very painful when you lose your memory. You have no idea. And the most painful thing is when you've prepped yourself to remember something and you do not remember it. But there are ways and means that can happen, or that can stop. Where you don't remember, it can stop. So today we are doing that. Sending your messages to us. Pick up a phone to call somebody to join this particular conversation. Let's continue, Godwin.
All right, great. So this is how your brain works. So see this as your brain. All right. So when you start training your brain, giving it sensory data information. So this is the information you're giving to the brain.
Okay.
This is what it will do. You think at this point it can't go again.
Because you feel it's full.
Yes, you think it's full. But when it gets to this point, it changes into a bigger brain.
Oh, so it expands.
So it expands. So this now becomes your new brain.
Okay.
And you can keep filling, improving it, training it. It gets that you think it's full.
Okay.
Then it changes into a bigger brain. So now this is your new brain.
Okay.
So you started from this to that to that. You can keep going. When it gets to a point where you think it's got to the limit, it will change into a bigger one.
Wow.
So this is how your brain works. It can grow and become bigger and bigger and bigger. There's no limit. And in neuroscience, we call this neuroplasticity, suggesting your brain is plastic. Your brain is flexible. It can always expand and is trainable. So at any age, at any stage, you can train your brain. So if you want to train your brain, I think you need to stick and stay. I'll show you some of the things you could do to train your brain, to make it as sharp as a steel strap, steel trap. So that's basically what we'll be talking about today.
Now, you're saying that you can expand your brain no matter your age. Now, let's start from the young ones. How do you train your child's brain to be able to remember every single thing? Then we move on to the adult, because the stages are different. When we're younger, there are things that we could remember. What we didn't remember was what we study and we get to the exams hall. But now as you grow, it's different. Sometimes you don't even remember that you are holding your phone, yet you're holding your phone. So let's start with a child.
Usually, what a child should do to train the brain is no different from what an adult should do. Even though kids, they learn faster, you know, because they worry less. You know, problem is stress. When you grow, too much stress will shrink your brain. You know, so when you go under chronic stress, it shrinks your brain, especially your hippocampus. That's the memory center. That's how come, you know, you can't remember a lot. You know, but kids, they worry less. And kids at that time, they have more neurons, they grow more neurons, so they can remember more, they can learn really fast. You know, but you can see yourself as a child. I call it the nipper mindset. And keep growing your mind all the time, keep growing your brain all the time. You know, so if you do the things that I talk about, it will still help you, whether you're an adult or a child. You know, so we could apply it to anybody. You could apply it to a child, you could apply it to an adult, and it will still give the same effect. You know, so we'll be talking about some of the things you could do.
What are some of the things?
I use a simple acronym. But before that, I think we've demonstrated that. So now we know that your brain is not fixed like your shoe size. What's your size?
I'm a 40.
40, yeah. So your brain is not fixed. So 40, you wear 40 forever, you know, but the brain is not like that. You know, it can always grow. Now, to make your brain grow or to improve your brain, these are some of the things you can do. I use an acronym, HEADLESS. So think like you don't have a head, you're now about to create your own head. So create your own brain. You know, and HEADLESS, like I said, is an acronym. If you want to improve your brain, number one is hydration. H stands for hydration. You need to drink a lot of water. Why? I keep saying when you know the why, doing gets easier. Because your brain is 75% water. And if it doesn't have water, look at the blender without water. You want to blend something without enough water, what happens? You know, it's stuck.
Yeah, it gets stuck
at some point, you know, it makes some funny noise.
You get a brittle
but when you put in some water, it becomes smoother, you know. So the same thing, when you're not having enough water in your brain, chances are that, you know, it could impair memory. Again, it could affect your mood, attention. So I keep telling people, sometimes when you're not thinking clearly, chances are that you're not properly hydrated. You know, when you can't focus, chances are that you're not properly hydrated. So you need to drink a lot of water. When you are dehydrated, this is something that we need to know. The brain is one of the most affected organs.
When you're dehydrated?
The brain is one of the most affected organs.
How does that happen?
Because the brain needs the water to do its work. The cells in your brain, which we call neurons, they need water to perform, like an engine. You know, it needs water to run. Like the other, you know, machines, they need water to run. Without water, they'll have issues. You know, so the same thing, the brain is like a device, you know, and it works all the time. So it needs water to basically work, to do all the great things that it does for you. You know, so water is very, very good. So make sure you drink a lot of water. Number two is exercise. If you want to improve this brain, we know it can expand, it can grow bigger, has no limit. You need to exercise if you care about your mind. I'm talking about this because, Rosalind, you know something called dementia. You talked about it. One of the symptoms is memory loss. It's becoming common. Let me give you the statistics. Now we have about 55 million people, not even more than 55 million people living with dementia.
And now it doesn't have an age, right?
No limit. You've got people in their...
It used to be older people.
So when we're talking about dementia, you're looking at a granny. But now, if you talk about dementia, you might be looking at somebody in their 30s. You might be looking at somebody in their 40s. So it's affecting tricentenarians. Tricentenarians are those between 30 and 39. It's affecting quadrigenarians, those between 40 and 49. You know, so it's affecting everybody. I have not seen that cases, you know, for
the children,
the kids and those in their 20s. But as early as, you know, 30. So we need to take our brain into our own hands and start training it. Law of use. What you don't use, you lose. So if we don't train our brains, we'll lose it to dementia. And you talked about it. You can't even remember anybody.
No, you can't
remember your own kids. You know, and you good experience, you can't remember them. You can't form new memories. That's a bad situation. And you don't want to be in there. Here's more. It is projected to double the number I gave you, to double by 2030. And here's worse.
What's causing it?
Lifestyle.
You
know, these days we don't train our brains. If I give you a number, what would you do? You try to put in your phone. So there's something called digital dementia. we have our souls are thinking to technology. Oh, phone number they will put in our phone. Back in the day, phone number you try to memorize it. It's stretching your brain. So you now need to seize the opportunity to stretch the range of your brain. You know, so lifestyle, the foods that we eat, we don't exercise these days, do we? You know, we don't drink a lot of water, do we?
So when we the tips you were given, when we drink the water, we're headless. So what's the E?
The E is exercise.
Exercising.
You need to exercise a lot.
How often do you have to exercise?
Oh, I do every time, every day. You know, my goal is to exercise before I take my bath. You know, so it's mapped here. So before I take my bath, my brain knows I need to exercise.
Okay.
You know, so I do every day. You could do the same. You know, it helps. Exercise is good. You can do 3 times in a week if you haven't got the time. You know, any form of exercise is good. When you exercise, this is what it does to the brain. Your hippocampus, which is the memory center. So if you are forming memories, they go to your hippocampus.
Okay.
All right. If you don't have hippocampus, you can't form new memories. So those who have damaged hippocampus, they can't form new memories. You know, and when we grow, sometimes we have problems with the hippocampus. That's how come we can't remember a lot. So, but when you exercise, it expands. It grows more neurons in there. So its works is basically enhanced. So exercise is good. It also releases dopamine, which elevates your mood. You know, and when your mood is elevated, learning becomes all easy for you. When you come here and your mood is elevated, talking, remembering all the things will come to you because information will speed to you because of your state of mind.
Right.
You know, when you go into a different state, sometimes some of the words might not even come to you. You know, so you need to have that good state of mind. It's good. And exercise could help you do that.
Right.
Also, it improves attention. The next one is affirmation. It's quite deep, so I might not belabor the point. Again, all these things are...
But affirmation, I don't use deep, but let's touch a bit on it because we've heard that when you keep affirming something, it comes to pass. So how does it work with the brain?
Great. Now, your brain, your thought, everything you say, make a connection in your brain. So your words, they are sensory data. So when you give out the words, it bounces back to you. So then it becomes a connection in your brain. If you keep you keep rehearsing it mentally, it gets stronger. So in neuroscience, you could use some term called hardware. So it becomes a hardware in your brain. The words you say to yourself, now it's formed a connection. It's mapped in your head. If you keep repeating it, then it becomes like a software program in your mind. Then it becomes a new vox or new voice in your head. And it dictates your behavior. Right. You know, there's something here, you know now, prefrontal cortex. So the words, the prefrontal cortex will take the words, take your reasons, know what you are focused on, and will now connect the neurons to make it look like it's already happened. So when you say these words in your head, and it's been measured, it's not me talking, this is science, it's been measured. You know, so when somebody says some words, they say words to themselves, then it's already mapped here.
So it's not a spiritual thing?
It's not spiritual. It's scientifically proven. If you do the brain scan, you see the network already set up to make it look like the thing has already happened.
Right.
So the guy said, I am strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. And he feels it. If you say I'm strong, it doesn't make it to the body. You say I'm strong, you don't believe it. It doesn't even get past the brain stem.
So when you say you have to believe it. So I am rich, I will be a billionaire.
Not just saying it.
I'm not believing it.
So you just have to believe it.
Yeah.
I'm a billionaire. Then you think about your plans, how it's happening, and you feel it and you become excited about it and you give gratitude. So you say thanks like it's already happened. When you say thank you, it means you've received something.
You give the gratitude to who?
To our Father. Some people call it universe.
Okay.
God.
So when you think about it, you affirm it, and then you say thank you.
So thank you, the brain thinks it's already happened. Because whenever I give you this and say thank you, what does it mean? It means you received something.
Okay.
So whenever I say thank you and I feel it and believe it, the brain thinks that you have already received it. Then it changes your mind.
Okay.
Then it goes to work to make it happen. You know, that's how come. So usually science is proving the things stated in the Bible. So whenever I research, I also look at what is stated in the Bible. Let the weak say I'm strong. Let the poor say I'm rich. Even though they are poor, they say I'm rich. When they believe it, it will change.
Do you mind me asking you this? You know, sometimes you are told that when somebody says something negative about you, you should cancel it at that time. What is it that when you don't cancel it, the brain accepts it and it works with that, or what is it?
Good point. Whatever happens to you is what you believe in, what you accept. So when people say words to you, it's up to you. If you believe it, then the mind knows you've believed it, then it forms that network in there. But if you don't believe it, nothing happens to you. That's how come, you know, even juju, there are some areas, places you go, you do juju, it won't happen. Somebody plays for Kotoko. They can juju everybody on the bench and get to play. But when they get to travel, they can't do that. Why? The people don't believe in it. What your mind doesn't believe in, you don't attract it. You attract the things you believe in. So when they say these words to you, if you believe in and accept it, it will happen. But if you don't believe in and accept it, you don't accept it, it won't happen. So it's still in your hand, you know. But the thing is, your brain, if you're not too strong, if it keeps hearing repetition, you might break at some point. That's how come environment is very powerful. Watch the people you surround yourself with. Watch what you hear, you know, because if you are not too strong, you don't show will, you might accept it at some point, you know, and that will dictate your destiny.
Wow. Now let's go to the D.
D is diet.
Oh, dieting.
So you talked about lifestyle.
Okay.
Diet is very, very powerful because your brain takes about 20% of the nutrients. I'd say the brain is a pig, a hawk. It takes more than any other organ. So all the foods that you are taking in, it will take 20%, it takes more than any organ. So if it's junk, what do you think? So what comes in is what is being used to produce whatever you want. If what comes in is not too good, it means the output will be bad. You know, your neurons, they feed on the nutrients to do their work. So if you are giving them too much junk, they can't do a good work for you. So diet, check your diet. And in my book, called The 37 Secrets to Learning, I've listed all the foods that you have to eat, which will be good for your brain.
Give us just a few of them.
One of them is, so I'll give you foods we could find here.
Right.
Dark chocolate.
Okay. The bitter one.
The bitter one. Dark chocolate. Good for your brain. You know. You can also have eggs. Good for the brain.
Okay.
And for your kids.
eats a lot of eggs.
Yeah, for your kids, but don't do too much.
Okay.
Too much of everything is...
It's bad.
Yeah. So,
he takes 4 a day.
Yeah. That's too much. You know, probably you could have 1 a day. That's good.
Okay.
Eggs are good. And for your kids, give them eggs. Good for the brain.
Plus the white or just the yolk? The whole egg?
Every bit of it. The yolk is good.
The whole egg is good?
Every bit of it is good. Okay. But not the shell or whatever, the cover. That's not something you can eat. It's not eatable. Okay. You know, so you need to do eggs. You can also do greens. There's something called moringa. Good brain food. Okay. There's something called dandelion. Let me pronounce it the way they can basically understand. Dandelion. Good for the brain. It grows everywhere. Yeah. You can get some, cook it, then blend it. Add some bananas, drink it. Good for the brain. You know. You could do something like green tea, good for the brain. Beans.
Beans is good for the brain as well.
Super brain food.
Wow.
Look at how it looks. Super brain food. You know, I think I'm giving all the tips away. Okay. Yeah, so if you need more, get the book. Yeah, right. You find the rest. It listed all of them in there. Right. Good for the brain. So we need to check our diets. So bottom line, we need to do more fruit and vegetables. Okay. Do more fruit and vegetables. Good for your brain. You know, because your brain will take that to produce whatever it does for you, you know, to do the work that it does for you. Next one is learning, headless. L. You know this already, you've talked about it. Whenever you learn something new, you make a new connection in your brain. So as we listen, we're making connections in our brain. So if you want your brain to grow, to become bigger, you need to learn more.
Does it necessarily have to be you reading books?
Not just reading. Learn a new song, learn a new skill. I started playing FIFA with my son. Okay. He used to score me a lot, 9-0. Now I reduced it to 3-0. Last time I scored him 2-1.
How did you do that?
I was learning.
Okay.
You know, so I have stretched my brain because I've learned something new.
So how did you learn it?
I was watching him. You can learn by watching, you know, and I had to, when you're playing the game, you need to keep practicing till you become unconscious, which means you know where to hit. So I don't need to look at it. But when I started, I had to look at it. Where is through pass? Okay. But over time, I don't need to look at it.
The practice made you perfect.
I'm unconscious now. Practice makes you practice. It makes you skillful. So now I know where to hit. If I want to do the through pass, I know where to hit and all that. So I became better. When you practice, you become better. Progress, that is constant. Whenever you practice something, over time you become perfect. Because repetition makes you perfect.
Okay.
You know, so I started practicing, repeating. We kept playing all the time. You know, sometimes when he goes to school, I don't have anything. I'll practice, you know, because my goal is to beat him. Practice makes you perfect. Not perfect though, because you can always improve.
Yeah,
so we say practice makes you improve, or practice brings progress. Not perfect, because you can't become perfect, because you can always improve.
Okay.
Improve. When we say perfect means there's a limit. No, you can always go.
Go on and on and on and on.
So you need to learn new skill. Find opportunity to learn something new. I love to learn new words every day. Today my word is dyspepsia.
Okay.
Dyspepsia, you know, which means indigestion. You know, that's a term. But I learn a new word every blessed day.
What about those who spend a lot of time on social media? They'll say that they see things all the time, new things all the time. Is that also a way of expanding your brain?
It's a double-edged sword. It's benefiting, it's damaging.
How?
Screen time, too much screen time is not good.
Okay.
You know, too much screen time is good for your memory. So I'm saying now you need to reduce your kid, even yourself, you need to reduce the screen time. This is not me talking. Wherever I don't talk through my heart. Whenever I talk about, it's been proven. If you research, you find it. Too much screen time is not good for your memory. It's not good for your mind, you know. So let them reduce the screen time. Let them do more book time.
Okay.
So before they sleep, the phone is, research says, the phone is basically the first thing many people touch when they wake up, the last thing many people touch when they sleep. Not good. Because when you sleep, your brain goes into something called alpha state. In alpha state, your brain is more creative. Your subconscious mind, the gate between conscious and subconscious is wide open. So it takes everything you take in, just like that.
Okay.
You know, so when you're about to sleep and you're in that state and you look at, okay, I'm going to go. You put that one, it might be something negative on social media, you mapped it in your head and it will reflect when you wake up. Chances are that it will reflect when you wake up. So why not give yourself your goals before you sleep? I'm telling you, it's a secret. People who are very rich, the rich people, they have things they are doing. Many of them, the affirmation that we talked about.
So you wake up in the morning, or before you go to bed?
It's a secret. So I want to know.
Please tell us that secret. I actually saw it on TikTok though. But tell us the secret today.
Before they go to bed, majority of them, they will affirm their goals to themselves. Because I told you, at that point, your brain is in alpha state. Your subconscious, the gate between conscious and subconscious mind is wide open. So everything you take in, it takes it seriously. And it dictates your behavior, you know, and it looks for answers for you. So before they sleep, they'll read the affirmations, the contracts they want, how much they want to make in a year. They'll read all these ones because they've written them down in the present tense to make it look like it's already happened. And they say gratitude, they offer gratitude. Before they wake up, they do the same thing. And when you wake up, the same thing, your brain goes into alpha state. And I looked it up. It's in the good books
of the Bible. Godwin, where can we get your book from?
My book, you could get, if you know Papa's Pizza. Okay. Yeah, any branch, you could get one of my books. All the things I'm talking about, they are in there. If you also call us, if I'll have to put my number.
Please, you can.
All right. 0209 661100. 0209 661100. It's a WhatsApp line.
Okay.
So just WhatsApp. We'll show you where you could get some.
Okay. What's the title of the book?
3077 Secrets to Learning.
Okay.
We're having the official book launch on the 16th.
Okay.
We might have you to grace the occasion for us. You know, she might be there.
Go me. Oh, okay. Just put the money down.
Yeah, for us, you know. And so happening on the 16th, we do the official book launch.
Okay.
And our goal is to help a lot of people, bring out all these secrets to the young ones, you know, so they know them early. Then we could start doing great things.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Super grateful. For those of you at home, make sure you grab your copy. And when it's time for us to have the launch, of course, some of us will be there. Yeah. And we hope to see you there too. So thank you so much for being here, Godwin. His name is Godwin Eduafo. He's a lecturer and a memory trainer. And of course, today we know that you've learned a lot.